Let's continue our visit of the region Latin America with Paula DINIZ Oliveira, Global Head of Fleet at Zoetis. She will share with you her case study with concrete tips to successfully harmonizing your Latam fleet.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paula Oliveira. I am the Global Head of Fleet at Zoetis, and it's a pleasure to be here in the Global Fleet Conference 2021. Today, I'm going to cover my case study for Latin America and how it has helped me to manage a global portfolio. So before I get started, I just want to give you a quick overview about Zoetis. So we are a leader in animal health, healthcare. We have over 65 years of experience in animal health products. We are present in more than 100 countries. And last year, our revenue was over $6 billion. Globally, we have around 11,000 employees and 3,600 is field force members. Between our portfolio, we have vaccines, we have a variety of pharmaceutical products to different kind of animals. About fleet characteristics. Globally, we have around 3,200 vehicles distributed in 43 countries. Between type of vehicles, most of them are light trucks, but we still have SUVs, pickups, and sedans. We have more light trucks because our field force has to reach like farms and countryside. So light trucks it's considered the more a more suitable vehicle for them. If we can split between use of the vehicle, so I would say 80% is related to field force and 20% are benefits in some countries, especially in Latin America and Europe. I want to also highlight how important is the role of fleet and with the strategy of the company. So if I can highlight the main strategy, Zoetis strategy. So first one, I would say enhance customer experience. So our employees, they wanna provide the best service for our customers, right? We wanna provide an exceptional service, an exceptional product. So where fleet fits on this? So our role, I would say, is should be the same, right? We wanna provide to our drivers a safe and efficient mobility tool where they can reach the places they need to go in a safe and efficient way. The other point I would highlight is innovative growth, right? Zoetis innovates all the time, both in products and new technologies. So the support areas like fleet, facilities, HR, all of them should follow the same path, right? We should think out of the box, right? And how we can innovate it. There are many new technologies related to fleet. For example, telematics. We have telematics in a lot of countries. We have like softwares to help to control costs and define KPIs, and also work with suppliers that innovation is their priority as well. And I would say the third main strategy, sustainability. So sustainability, it's a very important topic right now for Zoetis. We really want to create a healthier world and a healthier future. And fleet is I think it has an important role on this, right? We are working to set goals to reduce carbon emission, and there are many projects ongoing, short and long term, to achieve those goals. Right now, I'm gonna focus in Latin America. So when I took the role in 2017, I had 13 countries under my management, and I had to like make the region more aligned in terms of operation, right? When I took, each country had different policies, different procedures, and my goal was has a more aligned um, region. So first one, I had to define a strategy for to manage this. So I reached all countries. I talked to leadership team. I identify which stakeholders in each country, because this is varies as well. Some countries HR is more involved, the other countries finance. So it's very important to identify the main stakeholders for the countries, and identify the best in class country. In my case, was Brazil. Brazil was the biggest operation in the region, and for sure the best in class in terms of management. So I took, the best practice in Brazil as well, and see how it could fit for other countries. So after discussing and understand the needs from these stakeholders, and I schedule meetings with local suppliers and regional suppliers as well, and start a business case comparing scenarios, for example, leasing versus owning, and see what was like the most efficient operation for the company. After the business case, I presented to stakeholders, and then I could move forward after getting approved. I could move forward with the changes. So I started with the countries that was more. There are countries that was more open to changes than others, right? So I usually start the changes with these countries, and then after implementing successfully the change, I could extend for the other countries as well. After, I would say, the output of this process was a fleet policy more consistent with the company strategies, right? So after the transition and the business case approval, I could have a fleet policy more consistent with the company strategies. Supplier harmonization. So when possible, of course, that's our priority. Is to have less suppliers as possible. Sometimes it's not possible because sometimes they don't operate in all countries, or they have a gap that can support our colleagues in the field. So uh, there are some gaps, but in most cases we try to reduce the number of suppliers to facilitate the management, especially I when the fleet structure is not as robust as 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 it could be. So the supplier develops an important role in the daily operation. And define KPIs and control costs. So fleet is an area with costs related, and it's very important to show to leadership what's going on, right? Sometimes they think because drivers are not complaining, everything is good, right? But that's why it's important to show numbers and see how we can do better, right? So make this clear. Uh, it's important for to show how fleet is a strategy, and it's an important topic to be managed. So all these factors combined gave me a support and to think in a global level. So first is establish a global policy, right? So in this global fleet policy, I identify the main topics to be included in a fleet policy, right? For example, um, who uh, who 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 employees needs to have a car, parameters to establish an assignment, um, driver responsibility, company responsibility, our global safety program, what's important for a driver to have in mind. So all this, it's a high level document identifying the main topics to be included in all fleet policies. And these topics are very aligned with the corporate strategy. Second one is the safety program. So safety is definitely a concern to every leader and for us as well. And we run a safety program, and we make clear also for our drivers how it's important this program to us, and how we care, about um, their 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 safety, right? So most of them spend a lot of hours in cars, so we need to be sure our drivers manage in a safe way, right? Global suppliers. So it runs according to the supplier harmonization. So the idea is create partnership, right? As I mentioned, we don't have like a huge internal fleet structure to manage the vehicles. So suppliers develops an important role not only in the daily basis but also creating this strategic operation, right? I think nothing is possible without a good supplier. So um, as I said, when possible, we try to reduce the number of suppliers and making like a um, global agreements to create this partnership. Usually, our contracts also are long term, because of this. In the first year it's not possible to create this link with the provider in a short term. I think it's a long term that creates this link, and both suppliers and Zoetis learn together to to um, how can I say to to create the partnership and and like reduce the 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 problems in the operation. Global platform with the main KPIs. Yeah, so that it's one of the challenges is to control costs in a global level, especially considering different technologies over the countries, different ways to manage. So first thing, establish KPIs, main KPIs for all countries, regardless how they manage. If it's a Excel spreadsheet or if it's more a software, doesn't matter. It's important to have the KPIs, and based on that, compare how countries are between them, and also analyze the costs and establish strategies based on that. So concluding, I'm going to the final steps of my presentation. If I want to highlight some important things. So first, this operation with stakeholders, this connection with stakeholders is very important to align expectations and also define and how to define the strategy for each country. It's sometimes it's not possible to have the same operation for everybody. So different we have difference in taxes, different cultures, different ways, different vehicles per country. So we need to see country by country, but not forgetting the whole thing, right? Pilot projects. This is other tip that fits very well for me. Uh, Sometimes we need to start in a small group. If for example, in my case was telematics. So my first experience with telematics was with a small group in Brazil, where we had a very challenging operation. So the project, I always, I always thought that telematics was a great tool, and for me, I would implement in all countries. But there are many barriers to do that. So I started with a pilot project. I took this team. My team and we implemented the telematics, and the project was very, very successful. We could reduce accidents, penalties. We provide savings. It was a very, very successful project, and this this could be extended to other areas. And right now we have, in case giving the example of Brazil, we have for all field force. So I think pilot projects fits very well in not only in telematics, but also, for example, when we talk about electric vehicles, when we talk about other kinds of mobilities. So it's a way to start with a small group and then having success extending for bigger groups. Other important thing, build partnerships. As I said, suppliers, they make they have a very important role in our operation. So we build long-term contracts to have this connection with our suppliers as long term as possible. And the last thing I wanna talk about is mobility, right? Mobility future, and fleet is an area with a lot of a lot of technologies coming in, and it's important to have in mind how this is gonna affect our business, how we trying to try to make the questions and try to answers as much as we can, right? Technologies are here to be used, but it's sometimes there are groups that needs more than others. So it's very important to have this in mind. So that's what I want to show you. I hope you like the presentation. It's a pleasure to be here, and hope you like the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paula DINIZ Oliveira from Zoetis, for this inspiring case study presentation.